Hi, I'm Claire Pires, and I'm the host of GLAAD All Access, GLAAD's video series that features interviews with newsmakers, hitmakers, and people accelerating acceptance. This week, I interviewed Bisi Alimi, who is a Nigerian LGBT advocate, who talked about the state of LGBT people in Nigeria right now, and he talked about a recent poll that was conducted to map out the awareness of LGBT people and same-sex relationships among the Nigerian population. Take a look.
My name is Bisi Alimi. I left Nigeria in 2007. I came out and happened to be the first man to ever come out on national television in Nigeria.
Legally, what is it like for LGBT people in Nigeria right now?
In Nigeria, you go to jail for 14 years. If you show any same-sex attraction towards another person. Two, if you're known to be gay or LGBT. If you're perceived to also be lesbian, gay, or bisexual, you go to jail for 14 years.
You commissioned a poll to see the acceptance rate for LGBT people in Nigeria. Can you talk a little bit about what the poll is and what you found?
Earlier this year, Bisi Alimi Foundation got in touch with NOI, which is the biggest polling agency in Nigeria, to say that we would love to poll public opinion in Nigeria as regards the social perception of same-sex relationship and of homosexuality. And when the result came out, we saw from 96%, it dropped to 87%.
And it's 96% of people
who are in support of the law. So in 2013, there were 96% of Nigerians in support of the fact that they wanted this law in place.
They supported criminalizing LGBT people.
Yeah.
And now only
87%.
Okay.
So that's a huge drop.
Oh, yeah.
And we were like, gosh, we can't believe that in Nigeria we could get this out. But there are also other interesting things. 52% of people who said that they don't agree that people were born gay, said they will accept, or they have accepted their brother, their sisters, their friends, or their neighbors who's gay. When people know, they have a level of education and interaction that change the way they see things.
Right. Is there a moment that has stuck with you, maybe between another LGBT advocate or person in Nigeria, or someone who was affected by the work that you were doing in Nigeria, that has stuck with you, even if it was just a conversation you had or a moment that has stuck with you that kind of keeps you going?
I've had a lot of that, but there was one particular one, and that was in January last year, just when the law was signed, and I had just finished an interview with Christina Paul on CNN, and it was on my birthday. Actually, it was on January 17th, on my birthday, and I was so exhausted because I've spent the whole day moving from one media house to another talking about this, and I was really exhausted. I was like, this is not really the way that I wanted to celebrate my birthday. And I got back home and I went on Facebook and Twitter because I wanted to know what is going on, and I got a message from a middle-aged woman who said, "I just watched you on TV, and thank you so much for," I'm sorry, I don't want to cry. And she was like, "Thank you so much for what you just said on TV. I kicked my son out a few weeks ago because I caught him with another man in the house. I love my child so much. I want the best for him. I want him to grow up like every other child. I want him to be a man. And when I saw you on TV, I went online to research about you, and I saw what you've done with your life. And I felt like my child can actually do the same." And she was kind of apologizing to me to tell me how sorry she is for doing whatever she has done to her son, and she felt like she owed me an apology. And I remember I told her, I asked if she can send me a telephone number that I would like to call, and she reluctantly gave her number to me, and I spoke to her and I said, "You need to go look for your son." because I don't want your case to be like my case. My parents rejected me when I came out. And now, between 2004 and now, it's taking them a long time trying to find me back. And I love them. I really love my parents. But they've lost the son finally. They will never get the son that they kicked out. In as much as I've forgiven them, I will never forget that at a very confused and challenging time in my life, they kicked me out of their house. And you don't want your son to be great tomorrow and having that. The son is back at home, and the mother she's now my friend on Facebook, and she comments, even, with little understanding of things that she knows. She just come and comment. She get excited about anything I post or anything I write. And for me, it was very much about, there is one other woman, there is one other man out there, and I need to get across to that person.
How has this whole experience affected you personally? It's been quite emotional for me. I remembered the day I got the result. I couldn't sleep, and this is not an exaggeration, because I remembered in 2007 when my house was broken into and I was almost killed, and within that period and now, just being at home and looking at the results over and over and over again and saying, can this be happening in my country? I feel really proud of my country. I feel really proud of what is going on. I feel really proud of the activists at home who every day are putting their lives at risk just so they can make the country habitable for everybody, including myself. By 2020, we want to bring support for the law down to 60%. To now see a country like Nigeria that is 98% religious, showing 87% acceptance for the law, a drop in 11%. Between 2013 and 2015, a drop in 11%. That on its own, it's huge. It's one thing that did not come out strongly at all, not even strong, that did not come out at all in the studies, the issue of trans. And I think going forward is about putting the trans question into it. If Nigeria, at a population of 170 million people, the most populous black nation in the world, the biggest economy on the continent of Africa, one of Africa's biggest superpower in terms of military, in terms of foreign policy, as oil. So it's now the largest economy on the continent. If a country like that can be more accepting of social issues, and not just LGBT issues, we talk about gender issues, we talk about education issues, we talk about healthcare issues, if it can be more accepting of such issues, you can imagine what impact that we have on the continent. If there's ever going to be change in Nigeria, we are the ones that can make that change happen.